Some of these girls was raped up to 20 times a day. What we're witnessing right now is the genocide of our time, and the world is doing nothing about it.
And the little girl witnessed her brother starve to death. And when we saw her, she's like this big around. Just seeing someone like out of those films you see from the Holocaust.
All of this is done under the flag of the Islamic State. What is really chilling is they actually have priced people.
Part of what we're doing here is that we're bringing medication to the people, we're trying to bring healing to the nation itself, but also to stand strong in the midst of the storm when it comes to the persecutions of the Christians and the Yazidi and other minorities. Basically, when we went to Kurdistan, Iraq, our main mission was to go to the front line and to be able to rescue some of the minority families that been stuck under ISIS. So we went up to 200 meters away from ISIS. That's how close we were. You can see the flags, ISIS flags, and we was able, directly or indirectly, we was able to rescue Christian family from Singar Mountain. They was under ISIS for the last 3 months, under the rule of ISIS. And at the same time, we was able to rescue some of the Yazidi girls.
Every time I said to myself that I will forget this story, but I can't. It's a nightmare living with me.
In this meat market where they will sell them, they will separate them from each other, and some of these girls was raped up to 20 times a day. They was dividing them. So they would tell them, I'm taking your mom to give them food. Of course, there was no food. Basically, they was just telling them this is excuses so they can separate them from each other. And every section, wherever they went, that's where the mother was raped in front of their daughter. Maybe they didn't see them in a close range, but they can hear the voices from far away.
And the other set of sisters that we interviewed, the one sister said something similar, separating the older women and the younger children, and they set them on fire.
A lot of them, after they get sold, some of them will be shipped to Syria, and this is the problem. We can rescue them. We have a way or two through the tribes to rescue them as long as they are in Iraq. Once they are in Syria, it's next to the impossible to rescue any of them.
The whole story is beyond horrific, but what is really chilling is the way you described how they commercialized this slavery, that it's a marketplace, and that means there are sellers and there are buyers,
Yes.
and all of this is done under the flag of the Islamic State and is permissible.
This is not the first time that this has happened. The different that now we have mobiles, we have cameras, we have YouTube, we have Google, we have all the technology that we can see, and now the story is easier to know the story more now. But this has been happening for years and years and years, even in the old days, where Christians, Jews, other minorities will be taken as slaves and will be used in these manners. Sex slaves, they will take the kids, will use them as a fighter, so the kid will grow up, doesn't know who's his mom, his dad, will be a child, and will grow up, they will teach them to be a fighter, and he become a soldier as part of the Islamic State.
عليها ظهورا لها في الدنيا وان تلقى الله وهو عنها راض وصلى الله على محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. تكبير! الله اكبر!
I don't want anything from anyone, just I want helping for my friends. Every day we sigh, but don't have anyone listen to the AZD. I just want helping for my friends.
These were girls that were raped and they can't go home. They're living on the streets homeless now. If it's these sisters or the other sisters, they actually tried a few times in their escape attempts they had taken sleeping pills from home. They managed to smuggle those in. They tried to put sleeping pills in the drinks.
This
these ones?
this one.
Yeah.
This one's
They
the-
tried
the
putting sleeping pills in the drinks of their captors and stuff, and all the different escape attempts. It's just unreal.
After they killed my mother and father in front of our eyes, my two sisters, one of them was 14 and the other was 15, but the ISIS, they shot them also and killed them.
There was one girl, 9 years old. She was stuck in the Singar mountain, and
With her brother. They escaped, they were hiding on the mountain, and she got separated. The mother and the younger children managed to get out, and somehow during the fleeing, she got separated, her brother and her got separated from her mom. The father had died years before. And her brother and her were trying to survive on this mountain, trying to find a way out, and the little girl witnessed her brother starve to death. And when we saw her, she's like this big around, with no food. And they just found her, she just got rescued, and she was so quiet, and the mom wanted me to touch her back because her back was all bony. And it was seeing someone like out of those films you see from the Holocaust. She's just frail, and I'd never seen anybody like that before. And it's just really, really tough.
You manage not only to rescue some of these girls and families, but how do you then get them out of harm's way?
in Kurdistan, we try to give them back again to their families. So a lot of their families will be in the refugee camps. If the father is dead, maybe the uncle is still alive, maybe the aunt is still alive, maybe the cousin is still alive. So we try to bring the family together in the refugee camps.
But you must carry this into your life. You come back to Toronto, we go out, we eat, we laugh.
You wear a mask when you come back. You try to act like a normal person. You go home at the night, you will have your nightmares. Literally, your nightmares will hunt you down. And you use it as a fuel to fight more, to bring more girls home and to save their lives. You can be a victim or a victor. It's up to you how you react to this. Somebody have to fight for these girls and to bring them home.
Look at this, look at this. So who is doing this business? Where does this money go?
All of this money will go to the Islamic State Beit al-Mal, the house of money.
So it's not gangsters or freelancers. This is a policy revenue generator.
Absolutely.
For the caliphate.
Absolutely. The caliphate will have some sources. One of them will be the oil field that they will control. Sex slavery will be part of it. Drugs, weapons, kidnapping. So kidnapping and trading, like they can kidnap somebody from the West, or ransoms and so on. All of this will be considered revenue that all of them will end in Beit al-Mal, and then they will pay salary to the fighters, they will buy new weapons, and they will continue the fight. So it's a revenue to the Islamic State.
So it's systematized,
Absolutely.
it's administered, it's
Absolutely.
horrific.
There was a family living here, and you can see they used to have a normal life, and there was kids with the school books, and all was destroyed.
Something that I've seen in talking with people about my trip and talking with people about some of the things that we witnessed, and I've had some people say, well, little girls are raped over here. There's all kinds of atrocities like this that are performed in North America. And my answer to them is, yeah, sure, in North America, in the West, and all over the world, there are sick people. But usually a sick person that abuses children or does things like this, they're usually acting alone. In rare cases, they might be part of 2 or 3. And in really rare cases, you get the Jonestowns, you get the Waco, David Koresh things, where they're a larger group and they perform these crazy, sick, demented things. But what we're seeing over here with ISIS and with this radical Islam, you've got tens of thousands of people, if not more, that have this same sickness, this same dimension, and they're working together as a unit to accomplish one goal. And that is a big difference in what we have with our minority of twisted people over here.
This is the front line. You can see that they have they dig basically because ISIS keeps sending cars with bombs, car bombs. So they have to dig it. So in an order, if the car came, will fill in the hole, so it will not kill as many people.
It was a terrible tragedy, but, let it not obscure, frankly, the respect I think we should have for the Kurdish fighter.
We read such divergent things about the Peshmerga. In some reports, they're characterized as a highly efficient, highly motivated, highly principled armed force for the Kurdish people. And other times, they are portrayed as ragtag and badly equipped and
they are very badly
ill-disciplined.
They are good fighters because they've been fighting all their lives. The only problem is that they are very badly not equipped. Definitely, they don't have heavy arm to defeat ISIS. But also another problem that they have, they don't have proper coordinating between themselves because they are Valentino army, they are militias.
I don't care if you're Yazidi or Christian or Muslim. We're all the same, we're all Kurds.
And you're a soldier of all Kurdistan.
Exactly.
This guy is the commander of one of the front lines, the 200 meter. He, 2 months before, he got hit with a rock. He almost lost half of his head. He lost all his security. 2 months he was healed, he returned back again to the front line. So, and now he is explaining on the map where is ISIS and where they are and how's the battle is going.
These guys, they look more
seasoned.
Yeah.
We actually saw
They
two
look
Americans.
Like real fighters. I would have said that looks like an American.
Yeah.
The way he's dressed. And
Yeah. We saw two Americans joining the one camp when we were there. They just walked up and were volunteering.
Oh, you mean just individuals?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the other side of all the international people flooding to ISIS.
Yeah.
So are they constantly exchanging bombardment, or what goes on? Is it a fairly stable line, as it were? It's been there for a while?
It was fairly quiet the day that we were there, but I guess they have attacks mostly at night, and which is one of the reasons. Like where we were, the Canadian soldier was killed the very next night.
Same spot.
That's where the Canadian soldier was killed.
This is what you were saying.
Yeah, the big trench.
So it's a big trench, a barrier. Doesn't seem like it could stop a lot.
No. I think the reason not much is going on is that town that's across the green there, if they come out with heavy machinery, the coalition blows them up. The Air Force.
They're being surveilled.
Yeah.
So basically this village, which is called Nahya Center, and if you focused on the mountain, you can see two ISIS flags.
There are cell phone towers, and this guy's got a pretty fancy smartphone.
I think a lot of these guys go home at the end of the day. They live fairly close, and we saw guys coming in. So there was cell signal. This is warfare in a modern place.
It's bizarre, isn't it? The terrain looks beyond primitive,
Well,
and yet everybody's got the latest tech.
We think of war. We think of overseas, away from our homes. When these guys think of war, it's in their backyard.
We spoke with the Defense Minister, Jason Kenney. We spoke with the Immigration Minister, Chris Alexander. We spoke with the Canadian officials in order to find a way to bring these girls here to Canada and in order for them to start new life and just to leave their past behind and to receive the proper healing and to be accepted again in the society. So it's two steps. One step have to be taken in Kurdistan because this is the immediate one. But one step as well have to be here in Canada or in the West in general in order to take these girls and to save their lives.